Just start down. Hey, what's up, guys? Ninja Python Gaming back with another video. You know, it's Ninja Python Games, but you get the point. And we're here with my dog Antonio, or Buffett 1530.
What
You're
goes
supposed to.
on, guys?
All
The
right, yeah.
Prophet.
All right. And this is basically a podcast. We're basically doing homework while speaking to you guys. So, by all means, if you guys want to start talk, just message in the Twitch stream, and we'll reply as soon as possible, guys. And yeah, if you guys like to see any game or anything, this is the time where you can give game requests and all that stuff. But our topic about this podcast today is what are some good Cartoon Network shows and what makes it good. You know what I'm saying? Because like Cartoon
Mm,
Network's lit. We already know this. Like,
Fact.
who remember that good Lego Ninjago, bruh? Mm, mm. Oh, yeah. Hold up, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. First of all.
No, no.
No, no,
We
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
this later.
I'm talking about for all the
Oh,
people who hasn't seen it, like on the stream.
oh,
Like that show is actually
oh.
a good show. I recommend to watch it on Twitch. Just don't watch up to maybe season 5 is where you should end it because like it gets repetitive after a while. But that show,
Mm.
it's not bad. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. It's not a bad show. Yeah, it's a pretty all out good show. Um, but yeah,
Hear that, guys? You better go watch it.
yeah. Antonio's never seen it. It's fine though. But
Nah, I never did. Mm-mm.
so we're basically gonna talk about most of the old Cartoon Network shows because as we know, we're basically gonna talk about the kind of the fall and rise of Cartoon Network when it comes to the Fent, on the basically in the beginning and then when it comes to the end. Like my one of the shows that we're gonna talk about is we're gonna talk about it right now because it's so good. My dog, regular show.
Oh,
Yeah, I
my
really know
favorite
that.
show of Cartoon Network of all
This
time.
man's favorite
I
show
love
on
this.
Cartoon Network of all time. Yeah.
I definitely recommend that show for all you
So
watching
we've seen it
and
on
listeners.
stream like twice, 3 times.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
regular show is basically a show about um this bird and a raccoon or whatever he is.
Yeah,
Basically
raccoon.
at getting a job at a park, and they basically at a dead end job. Um, there's a lot of storyline when it comes to the blue bird. I think it's called a blue
Yeah, Blue
jay.
Jay Bird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
Blue
blue
Jay.
jay.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of storyline when it comes to the raccoon as well, because the raccoon ruins his life somewhat along the line where he needs to actually get a job, but he can't get a job because he didn't make it in this certain school he needed. But like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna talk about all of that. By all means, if you don't want to be spoiled, then I'd reckon just to click off if you want to watch it later. But so we're gonna
Yes.
get, yeah, you can come at this stream and watch it later after you watch the entire series if you want. But this might be going on YouTube, guys. Probably uncut. But like, anyways, it's time for us to continue. So, my dog regular show. You already know. So, like, we got who? We got the two main characters. Well, at least for the first 7 seasons. The blue jay and the raccoon. Okay. So basically, the blue jay bird named Mordecai um, is
Mm-hmm.
basically the sophisticated, not sophisticated, but he's definitely the more chill version of Rigby, while he's the more hyperactive version of Mordecai. But they're both basically slackers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're both
I could
basically
vouch for that one.
slackers, and one likes to slack more than the other, which is most likely Rigby, most of the time.
Yes.
Like,
Woo.
but like, in all honesty, this show is a really good show, guys. But let's go on. So, the first episode ends off with Rigby and Mordecai. So this is how it begins, basically. Rigby and Mordecai just um, basically trying to wrestle a doll, like a doll, like it's like WWE, like all over again on that doll, bruh. And then
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah. And then he's like, "You want me to put the paint on you and stuff like that?" Then he throws him on a trampoline, breaks the wall. And this is literally how almost every single episode like starts. Like they have a problem and they fix it. They either fix it or don't fix it, or they fix it and then they have another problem at the end. It's one of those shows. It's one of those. It has a lot of those humors. This show is also really known for all its montage because it has a lot of montages. Yeah, like almost every episode has a montage. So if you guys like montages, regular shows the way to go, guys. It's the way to
Yes.
go. Like no lie.
Listen to that.
But like with so regular shows, it's a good show. Like it's a good show. But so basically the episode continues with that one piano guy. Yeah, so basically there's a wizard and then my dog Rigby like shoplifts. He basically just steals a magical piano from a wizard who's whizzing. And like the funny thing is this piano can like summon anything. They send this other person to the moon. They had to go back and they had to save him. And that's how that episode end called The Power. But time to get in the actual story arcs of the actual player, of the actual characters, and describe why it's such a good show. So this show, it's one of those realistic sitcom shows, but it's on a cartoon kind of in a way. Like they have a problem presented and they have to fix it. It's no Dory though. I mean, sorry, it's no Dora though. Like um it's no Dora. It's no Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Clubhouse, yeah. No, we don't do that here. But like, it's
No, it's
definitely one
there.
of those shows where you fix a solution. You have a problem and then you have to fix it. It's not one of the, but like, trust me, it's not like that every time. It's just like that's the mostly the main plot of it. So we got Rigby. So Rigby is the type of reckless type of friend who kind of just does what he wants. He slacks. You know, he doesn't really. I mean, he cares about keeping his job, of course, but like he acts as if he doesn't. And usually this is mostly the reason why Mordecai Rigby always almost gets fired because Rigby Rigby is
Yes. It's always
the
because of
most,
Rigby.
yeah, it's the biggest troublemaker. And we can't blame it all on
Yes.
Rigby because, Mordecai does it a lot too, but Rigby specifically is by far the one who does it the most. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And
He's like the main
Mordecai
reason why
is known
you get fired.
as regular show's simp, okay? Regular show's biggest simp.
What?
I tell you, what do you think about Mordecai, bruh? Because I'm a little on the mic a little too much, you know? What do you think about Mordecai?
Mordecai?
Yeah, Mordecai.
Dude, look. I mean, Mordecai. Well, yeah, when I think of Mordecai, I do kind of think, especially when it comes to his dating
Simpish,
life,
yeah.
bro. Yes. Because, bro, you gotta think of it. First, it started with this girl. Sorry, guys, if you want to watch regular show, but I might just
Yeah,
there's
so
gonna be
we
like
already did the
characters in the
disclaimer.
show that you're gonna find out
Yeah,
about.
so we basically
Essentially,
just did the disclaimer. This is
yes,
basically when we're describing the characters though, so you don't have to worry about it. But once you get to the part where we're talking about a couple of the
yes,
storylines, you might want to like sign out if you don't want to see it, or wait until we stream regular show again because we're probably
yes.
gonna
If you
do a
guys
whole
would like that,
reaction series if you guys want. So keep continue,
be
Antonio.
more happy. But
And
bro,
this
like you
is for
said,
you too. But yeah, keep going.
for sure, for sure. But no, like I said, like you said, when it comes to Mordecai's dating life,
Hmm.
it's like simpish. You know what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
first it starts off with this girl named Margaret,
Yep.
of
Yep.
course, and we already know how that pretty much goes.
But
It didn't
Margaret.
really go into a really good direction for those two, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like when it comes to Margaret and Mordecai's relationship,
Yeah.
I mean, they had a moment where it was actually pretty decent. It wasn't going any, it wasn't anything bad. But what had happened was that Like
Hmm.
everything changed after she got accepted into her dream school, basically.
Yeah, dream college.
So
Yes.
yeah, but
Hmm.
like we're not even gonna go that far yet. We're gonna talk about
No, 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 no,
exactly.
no.
We're gonna talk about like exactly how this relationship went from the beginning to the end. At least not the end, but at least till that point, because we're not gonna go to where CJ comes in either. But like,
Ooh, oh no.
so,
Oh no, not CJ.
but basically, right? Um,
Hmm.
how do
Yes.
I say this? Like, okay, so Margaret was in the beginning of the series. Margaret was the type of girl to always have another boyfriend, like always. She'd be
Ooh.
like, "Hey, yo, Mordecai, have you met my new boyfriend?" Like, it's almost like she was trying to rub it in, you know. It's like she was a little
Yeah,
oblivious.
rub it into
She was
Mordecai's
the she
face,
was
pretty
more of the
much.
oblivious type of character in that sense when it comes to the beginning of the series, at least. Um, and she'd always try to like, she'd always basically have a boyfriend every single time Mordecai was trying to hit on him. So she never felt the way that Mordecai felt for him, but Mordecai never gave up, of course,
Nope. This man just
until
kept going and going and
yep,
going,
yep.
guys. Let me tell you.
And then they even had this one episode where Rigby, Rigby and Mordecai was doing solids, and then like he asked Rigby to do him a solid and like go on a double date with, which is not even a double date, it was just a friend thing, a double date with Margaret and Eileen. Yeah, Margaret and
Hmm.
Eileen.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the thing is, this didn't go that well. I wouldn't say it went well because um Mordecai because Rigby was being so mean during this entire date basically. Like he was using because in order for him to go on the date, right? He had to
Hmm.
give Rigby 10 jinks. I mean 10, what was it again?
Solids.
Solid, 10
Solids.
solids. So basically, Rigby was just being a jerk with all of his solids.
Yes.
Even going
Every
as
single
far
time.
as making him do something on the camera that was embarrassing, which I'm not sure what that amplified. But if by all means, Antonio, if you do, then you can say this part when he
I
was doing
mean,
that one wee whoop on the camera. Yeah, I'm not even
I
sure if
mean,
that's
I
Twitch
don't.
friendly. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't know if I could really tell you about that part because the wee oo wee oo wee that
Yeah.
part, like, what was Rigby
Um.
trying to get Mordecai to do? Like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't really get. I didn't really
I
understand
mean,
that scene in the
you could have
episode.
many ideas, but you couldn't actually know. You couldn't actually possibly expect yourself to know what was Rigby trying to have Mordecai do, like in all
I- And,
honesty.
and and guys, let me tell you, that solid that we're talking about like right now, that was the last
That was the
solid
final
that
solid.
Rigby wanted.
And mind
Yes,
you,
that Rigby
stuff
wanted
in this
Mordecai to
world,
do.
okay, let me tell you this now. This world
Hmm.
is very weird because stuff in this universe that they live in, like, it goes by mostly laws. So if you don't follow them, the world destroys. Like, the last solid, Mordecai didn't want to do it, and the entire house started tearing apart. The entirety of the
Oh
house.
yes,
And we're
yes.
just wondering, what? Like this world has some supreme power. That's one thing that makes this show not regular. Is that like the conflict in this show is almost unbelievably like fake, but it's so good at the same time.
Exactly.
Like we get to the real life situations, and then we get to that part where it's just like, what just happened? You know what I'm saying? Like you're honestly just asking yourself, what just happened? You know. But anyways,
Hey,
without further
and
ado,
that's how regular show goes, bro.
but without further ado, let's get back to the topic with Margaret. So
Oh
basically,
yes.
after that episode, she basically what she said was that she only went on this date to give Eileen a solid because he was talking about how he didn't want to give him a solid, and she said that to um, make him want to do the solid. Except
Hmm.
her saying that just broke like my dog Mordecai's heart. Yeah, he was like, damn, like wow,
Mordecai was
wow.
devastated
Like I
at,
was
at that
like
time.
I only had Rigby do the solid just so I could hang out with you, but wow, like wow, he was just basically shook, and then but this is when everything changed. He had a camping trip. Yep.
Oh
He
yeah,
had a
the camping
camping trip
episode.
basically, and
Camping.
this is the time where not Mordecai, Margaret had no type of boyfriend ever.
Nope.
Like she was just done with them. And basically we're going to a camping site that Rigby and Mordecai knows a lot and usually goes to, except it says no trespassing, and they've been going through to it. Of course, Eileen was like, are you guys sure about this?" Yeah, and he said, "Yeah, we're
Yeah,
sure.
we've been here many times,
Yeah,
so
we've been
you
here
guys
many
be fine.
times." Like,
Trust us.
yeah.
You can trust
So,
us.
with that being said, could they trust him? So, what happened next was they went to the camping site. Like, like they were arguing over some dumb stuff. Like, I think Rigby left the hot dog and the tent, so they had no tent, they had no hot dogs. So now they had to build
Oh,
a shelter. And then it started. So like this is the most important part out of it all is that on this episode, um, Rigby chooses to go in the car, turn on the radio, sit with and lay on the top of the car with um Margaret, and she basically starts speaking about life, and then like yeah, school and everything, and then he just talks about how, oh yeah, like yeah, I mean like yeah, I just dropped out of like art school. It was pretty sad, you know. And this is how he basically ended up in this dead end job. Um,
yeah, the park, as
yeah.
we all know.
And then Margaret is just like, um, Margaret is just talking about how like she'd like to go to her dream school, and then
Hmm.
like Mordecai was like, oh, if you go to your dream school, then who'll give me coffee? She was like, the coffee will be there, yeah, but it won't be the same. And then they hold hands. I think no, were they gonna hold hands or did they hold hands?
No, no, no. Rigby. That's when Rigby came in and he says some like,
Oh,
yeah, like oh, that's the part where they're talking about like the tent, like because they
yeah.
didn't have the tent at the time, remember? Because it was like stuck in the car and everything. And then
So,
Margaret's like, dude, you left the keys in the ignition. Like, oh my
oh yeah, I
god.
see. Yeah. So basically, yeah, he left the keys in the car. So he basically
Oh,
messed up his whole entire chance by turning on the music because he
exactly.
forgot like he forgot to not lock the car. Yeah.
Come on, Mordecai.
So it started raining. You know, they tried to get branches to like build a tent. And the sad
Yes.
part is that they found a deer, and they thought it was a regular deer that was watching them from the beginning. But then
But oh no.
it was a manna deer, you know, a manna
Yeah, it was like
deer,
half man, half
half
deer,
deer. Yeah,
basically. Yes. Uh huh.
yeah. So
So.
basically, like the trooper that let them
Mhm.
in the camping site before came over and he said, you guys are not supposed to be here, and then he leaves to go help them open up their car so they can leave or get someone to tow their car. And the thing
Yeah.
that happens next is that like like the deer comes out and they end up having to run away from a deer for their lives. And then, like I'm pretty sure was it Eileen? Eileen took a rock, threw it through the window, and then they jumped in.
Yes.
They jumped in and then
Inside the car, of course.
they jumped in the car, yeah, and
Hmm.
they drove off. Siri, go away. Anyways, they drove off. They just drove off, and then they had that guy following him everywhere. They were throwing everything at him, even a lantern, which is one of the epic parts of the series when he just like slapped the lantern in his face, Rigby. Yeah.
And then Ruby was like, "In your face."
Say in your face. I'm not sure if they did the whoa, but no. But like anyways. So like mind you, this deer is not giving up. He is not giving up. He starts running, and I mean sprinting for that car. And I don't remember what happened next. I think the car drifted, and then it got ran over. Basically, that
Mhm.
episode was basically a teaser to them both liking each other. And then we had a friend zone episode. Yeah,
Ah.
Antonio, you should just describe this one. You know, like
Can you tell me what the episode name is? So that I
um,
can refresh my mind, please.
it's called the friend zone. It's
That's
the
what it's
one. It's the one where Rigby was basically telling Mordecai that he doesn't want him to get stuck in the friend zone, and then he realized it's a real thing.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me describe this one as well. So basically, this episode was an episode where I'm not sure what. Um, yeah, Mordecai was basically, I think, asking Margaret out to see the comets, and um Rigby and Eileen went, of course. They drove there to see the comets, and then the comets start appearing and everything, and then we see Rigby on the top of the mountain telling the friend zone, telling basically Mordecai that the friend zone's here.
Hmm.
Little did we know that this was actually like a thing. So my dog Mordecai got trapped in a box, and Margaret got trapped in the box as well because they were in the friend zone. And basically, the guy, the big potato, was talking about how there's no escape of the friend zone. It's either a comet or a potato. But he was like, there is no like escape from the friend zone. I'm sorry, but you're here for eternity now. But then Mordecai was like, please give me another chance. He's like, I promise, I won't simp. I won't be in the friend zone. And then this man gets his first kiss with Margaret, because Margaret doesn't kiss him, but he kissed Margaret.
Oh,
And then
it's
this
called the
is
first kiss. That episode.
okay, but you should have at least known it was called but they had the friend zone. That was the main point of the episode. But like, anyways,
Okay, and then I'm gonna explain what happens next when Mordecai
I
goes for the
mean,
kiss.
okay,
So,
you can do
so
that.
basically, this is what happens to my man Mordecai, right? Mordecai and Margaret, they're just sitting in the car and everything, And then before you know it, Mordecai, he, because he forgot that his breath, it low key smelled like bad. It didn't even smell
Horrid.
good at
Oh
all.
wait, Antonio,
What? What?
isn't that one? That's not the same episode. That's the one episode where like it started snowing with all the peppermints, and then and then and
Oh.
then she pranked. Yeah, that's not the same thing. Yeah, and then
What?
she.
No,
Yeah,
no, not that one. No,
uh,
not this one.
that was the
It was,
biggest meme of
I'm,
regular show. Wait, you said what? Keep going.
no, I'm talking about the episode where Mordecai, both Mordecai and Margaret, they're sitting in the car with each other.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
while Rigby and Eileen were doing their thing wherever they were,
Yeah.
and so it was just like I said, Mordecai and Margaret in the same car, and then before you know it, Mordecai he goes in for the kiss with Margaret. They started kissing, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and then Mordecai just
Antonio,
low
that's not
key
the same
runs
one
out of the
though.
car.
That's not the same one.
Then which one are you talking about then, bro?
It's the friend zone episode. Okay, so that was the one. But okay, anyways.
Go ahead. Start.
So, yeah, that episode that he's talking about, yeah, that episode was the bad breath episode where he basically kissed Margaret, and they took a time machine to go back in time to fix it the entire night, and it
Yeah.
never worked out for him. So he just never got the kiss, basically.
Yeah.
And
That was the
then,
one I was talking
yeah, and then
about.
there was another episode which you probably seen this in a meme, where like Mordecai tried to like like did a bet to try to kiss Margaret for more motivation, and then she finds out about it, and then she was like, "Okay, let's kiss," and then she said, "Psych." She basically said, "No." She basically said, "Have a nice week, diaper boy," because the bet was, um,
Oh,
if he didn't kiss Margaret, then he'd have to wear a diaper for a
wear a
week.
diaper.
So that's why she said, "Have a nice day, diaper boy." Yeah. Dude, that was the funniest. Like that was the funniest moment. One of the funniest moments in the series by far, guys. But like
It was. It was.
to continue, we're going to go and not talk about Margaret anymore. That's Margaret's character. At least Margaret's character with Mordecai. Now we're going to talk about one of the other main characters. Okay.
Now, you guys may think since me and my bro are talking about just Mordecai and Rigby, right? That's not all the characters because
I
there
know.
are
I'm just
way
saying.
more.
I'm just no. There's about one,
Yeah,
two, three, four, five, six, seven, with the main cast, and then we have Eileen, CJ, Margaret. So eight, ten, like about 10.
yeah, counting them.
Yeah,
But the other ones that like basically that we're about to say, you got Benson, you got Pops,
yeah.
you
But
got
like we're
Skits,
not
you
like
got Ghost,
no.
you
But you
got
have to
Muscle Man.
you have to like let me get to them, Antonio. Like don't name them yet.
We're not,
Don't name them yet.
no,
Don't
no, no.
name.
I want to tell him. I want to tell him that. But
No,
then you
but
can
that's why I said don't
explain
name
like,
them yet. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna explain all of the things,
yeah, you're gonna
and then you're
explain.
gonna help me
Yeah,
explain it. But like that. Okay, he won.
yeah. Look, no. That was basically it. That
Okay,
like I said, there's Benson,
so we got.
Benson.
So this is the next person we're gonna talk about, guys. The next person, the one and only Muscle Man. So as
Who
you
is
can
that
see in
person,
this
bro?
picture right here, he does not look like a muscle man. He looks like a big ball. Do not underestimate him though. This man is known to pick up trailers, cars, and like throw them like across the street when he gets angry. Like that was literally an episode. Oh wait, there's 11 people. Yeah, there was this one episode where we got a new intern called Thomas, and he picks up a car and
Yes.
throws it across the street and misses. So like this man like
Basically, this man, Muscle Man, is
he
just called Muscle Man for a reason.
yeah, he's
Just so
actually
y'all
a
know.
muscle man. Like, he might not seem
Yeah.
like he's a muscle man. He might seem a little chunky, but he is a muscle man. He is the muscle
Yes,
man
he is.
specifically.
Yes, he is.
Like
Yes,
don't mess
the
with this
one and
man.
only.
Like you will be sorry if you mess with this man. I promise you that. Like he is not someone to be taken lightly. Like we literally watched an
No
episode
way.
of him just like him throwing an entire, and I'm talking about the entire, like like what was it, an RV or a car at this
It was a
at this
car.
man's
No, it
Thomas
was
car.
Thomas's car.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
it was a prank, but like still, like the fact that
That
his
was a little
strength
too much on Muscleman's part.
can measure up to
Too
that.
much.
Okay, so one thing, Muscle Man loves pranks. That's the main thing. He loves
Yes, he
pranks.
does.
The
He
first
loves pranks.
time he's ever had a big interaction or an entire episode was season 2, episode 5, I think. And it was called Your Mom. So this episode was an episode that prank oh no, my mom. So this episode was to prank Mordecai and Rigby, and he makes a joke called "My Mom" that doesn't make any sense because like it's basically him insulting his mom. Like, you know who else has? Oh wait, no, sorry. So basically, like he was basically just making a bunch of jokes about his mom. He was like, you know who else? No, he was like, you know who else knows how to drive a car? My mom. You know who else knows how to fix a car? My mom. You know who taught my uncle? My mom. Yeah. So basically, he's just doing that the entire episode, basically. And like Rigby and Mordecai actually saw him cool because we're chilling and like they were actually pretty fun. The only thing that Mordecai had a problem with was Muscle Man's lame my mom jokes. So he chose to say something. He's like, you do realize that's not my mom, it's your mom because you're insulting your own mom. Like, you know who else had fat ankles? You're a mom. You know who else lived in their apartment? You're a mom. You know who else? Yeah. So they're basically just insulting his mom. But they're not doing it to insult his mom. They're doing it to explain to him. And then he's like, what did you say about my mom? No one says anything about my mom. It's like, you ladies are going to pay. Throws him out the golf cart. And he's like, you guys are going to pay. And his brother comes from the pit of hell. Talking about some, um, like what were you saying about my mom? And we're just all like wondering what is going on. Like what is going on?
Like seriously,
Like
that's
he
all. Back of
like
my.
yeah, like he makes my mom jokes all the time about his own mom. But the funny thing is, so he takes a picture and he squishes it together as a butt cheek, and then he as his own butt cheeks, and then he writes a face on it, and he basically said that's his mom, and he had them eat a picture of it. So already you could see, already you can see, this man, Muscle Man, is a jerk. He is, wow, yeah. But we've had some
Well, he
good
can be a
we've
jerk
had wait, let
sometimes.
me finish. We've had them good episodes though, where like we see his real like how he really feels, and he's actually a good guy. The only problem is, and he's the type of person to say he knows a guy. He always knows a guy. And you know what's the funny thing, but like
Hmm.
like I remember this one funeral episode that was it wasn't a prank, but was very misinterpreted. Yeah, he
Hmm.
basically said this is my last day on Earth, and he was saying that because he was gonna become a new man to marry his girlfriend Starla, which was
Yes.
which was
That
really
was
bad
foul on his
wording.
part.
That was really bad wording. He wasn't pranking. It was just a really bad wording, and everybody thought he was gonna die. And Skip said, "I'm glad to be the type of man that you can say that I know a guy too." So basically, like when he's talking to someone else, he can say that, "Hey, I know a guy with this." Like, yeah,
Hmm.
he always admired him for that, and we just hear all of their perspectives on Muscle Man, just for Muscle Man to be like dancing with his underwear on, about to like propose to like Starla, and then they're just all like, "That's why we're not gonna see you at your real funeral." I'm just like, damn, you know, like you kind of deserve that though. You really misinterpreted,
Basically,
and the boss Benson blew off so much money on him that day,
ju-
so much
just
money.
because he thought one of his employees, Muscle Man, was gonna die.
Yeah,
That's the reason why
and,
Benson
and
blew all this money.
I'm pretty sure he said, "You owe me $5,000 or something like that." But like,
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
so the next person we're gonna be talking about is the hothead of the series, Benson.
Mm,
So
Benson.
Benson is a guy who's known to get pretty angry very quickly, but he only seems to get pretty angry very quickly to only two characters in the show, really.
Can I say who
Mordecai,
just took care of that?
and then you can say the other one, even though I'm circling his face.
Rigby.
So, which makes sense, guys, because remember what we said? Mordecai and Rigby are natural known as slackers. We didn't talk about Rigby much, but we're going to get to Rigby. But
Yeah.
yeah, Mordecai and Rigby are just known as slackers, and Benson is known as someone who like you have to get your work done. Like there's no breaks, there's no nothing like that, unless if there's an assigned break for you, which is like Benson, he's a workaholic basically.
Yes. That's
While they're the complete opposite of that. So it's really hard for them to see a similar point of view, but when they do, it's a really good feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like we get this one episode, which is probably the only episode, not the only episode, but the only couple episodes I've seen Rigby and Benson get along. We get an episode where Rigby and Benson um basically just has to sign recognition letters and for one of them to go. So basically they both quit, but they were joking. Mind you, they weren't joking, but like basically they both quit. Um, and basically he started talking about how both of them are basically really insecure. Like Benson, Benson, like was always taught to yell and be so sophisticated, while Rigby, he's always tried to make his parents proud in a way, but he was never able to. While Rigby, like he was never the one. He was always the one always the person to be looked down to. Like Don's always the person who gets all the credit, and this is basically what the entire episode is about in that case. And it's kind of a sad look at both of these characters in a way. But both
It
of these
is when you think
characters,
about it, talk about
but
it.
both of these
Mhm.
characters built a bond off of what they were talking about at that time. And sadly, we got this so late in the series, like in season 5 or season 6. But it was
Dude,
still
I
a
thought it was
really good.
season 7, dude.
But it was
7.
it was still a really good episode, anyways. And yeah, we just get
Yes.
like a
Bottom line.
yeah, we just get a good look into Muscle Man's character. The last one we're gonna be talking about is Pops, and that's gonna probably close out the entire podcast for today.
Mhm.
But like, yeah. So next one we're going to. So we're not talking about High Five Ghost because he's based. That's one thing about High Five. He he's basically Muscle Man's best friend. That's all we
Yeah.
have about him, and that he likes high fiving. I mean,
That's
we have
that's
episodes
a side.
about him, but it's like those episodes about him is really the main character of the episode's mostly Muscle Man and not him, which is weird.
Yeah. Most
But
men side.
what I can do, I can talk to you guys about their relationship. Like High Five Ghost went to a high school with Muscle Man, and Muscle Man and High Five Ghost built up a friendly bond between each other off of popularity because Muscle Man used to be the most popular. But then he lost his
Yeah, but
popularity
at first,
once High Five Ghost came to the school, and then they did a race, and then crashed their cars in something called a crash pit, or they created a crash pit with the big crash they had, and then they basically High Five Ghost saved Muscle Man, and they survived and they became best friends. And the crash pit is where they savor their moments about their friendship because the crash pit is where it all started,
and
basically.
then at first, that's the end of the episode because episode for bro on new bro.
You
And then
said
at
that's the
first,
end of
but
what?
no, that's what I'm saying. The episode, where they had like the whole race, where both not both,
You're lagging a little. Hold up.
goes
Hello?
Muslim. Hello,
Alright, I need to make sure you're not lagging so you can speak in the stream. Say that one more time.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, speak.
Okay, good. No, I was saying the episode where the crash would happen and when they had like the big old race between High Five Ghost and Muscle Man.
Yeah,
That episode is called The New Bro on Campus. That's
yeah,
what I was saying. And also, from the very beginning of that episode, well, not really towards like the episode, I would say, but like when they started going to the same school, Muscle Man didn't really like High Five Ghost. You remember that?
yeah.
Didn't really like it because High Five Ghost was the one who's getting like
That's what I
all the
said. They
popular,
they
like the
basically they didn't like
girls.
it. He didn't like my High Five Ghost because of the popularity. He gained all the
Yeah.
popularity
And
that
then before you
Muscle
know
Man
it,
once owned.
after that, they both because Muscle Man challenged High Five Ghost to a nacho eating contest. And then before you know it, guess who's the one who won? High
High Five
Five
Ghost. He doesn't
Ghost.
have a stomach. He's the ghost.
I know exactly
So
because this man Muscle Man thought he was gonna beat this man for
how
some
you beat a
reason. I don't know.
ghost? Yeah, with no
Low
stomach.
key, bro.
He ain't even
That's endless.
eating. That's the funny part.
I know.
Like it's
I
just going
know.
through him.
I mean, but this man Muscle Man, he just gave up, dude. He was like looking at High Five Ghost like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And then he slammed his head on the table. Then bah, High Five Ghost. What?
pretty much. Well, are you guys ready for the
That's
next
how it
one?
goes.
The next
Mhm.
person we're gonna be talking about is my dog Skips. So, yeah, Skips is an immortal character. So I'm actually like Antonio, do you think you can freestyle this off and explain how Skips was off of episodes? Describing him off of episodes? Or do you want me to
Well,
take control of that?
I think well, you.
Huh?
I'm I'm I'm, I'm kind of good with these things, but at the same time, it's like you start talking and I start
Yeah, alright, bet.
talking. Yeah.
I'm not really experienced with this, but hold up. I'm gonna leave and join back so I can try to fix your lagging because you're lagging again. All right, can you hear me?
Hello?
All right, let's continue this. So, um, we got Skips. So Skips is
Yeah, we're talking
immortal.
about skips now.
So yes,
Skips.
Skips is immortal, and the way he became immortal was by these babies. Um, these babies he met in high school that and mind you, they're man-side babies, so they're actually man. And like these babies that he met in high school that and he had to fight this evil baby. He fought the evil baby, and because he did that, he earned immortality in order to keep fighting the baby every single time he comes back, 1,000 years. So he basically, his whole goal is basically to just stay alive until then. So he's
You,
basically immortal when it comes to aging. Anything else he can actually die to. But he's not immortal when it comes to other stuff. When it comes to health, he still has to be healthy in order to survive. So,
well, of
the
course.
thing about the thing about Skips though, Skips is um Skips. You're probably wondering how he got his name, Skips. So let me tell you, his name used to be Walks back in high school, and then his girlfriend. Well, not his girlfriend actually. This girl that he had interest in, he used to skip around the hallways with her. And before he can make this girl his girlfriend, she died in the fight between the baby. So when
Hmm.
she did die, he
I remember
when
that.
he got his immortal name, he changed his name to Skips because he always skip around the school with her. So he's basically a little tiny love story, and also someone who's all wise because he's lived so many years. I think that's the only reason he's wise, because he's wiser than the whole crew.
Yeah.
And mind you, he looks like a ape. So it's funny how he's wise, because monkeys are usually found to be sophisticated or wise in a sense. So it's actually pretty cool how
Yep.
they added that little aspect. And I bet many people didn't even think about that when they think about skips. But now,
Nah, because
before we get to the
he
final one,
does
which
look
is
a
Pops, we gotta do some honorable
good old
mentions.
pops.
Honorable mention. I'm joking. No, we gotta do Eileen, Margaret, CJ. But Margaret we already kind of did, so we're taking Margaret off the list. We already know basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing is, Margaret, by the end of the series, not the end of the series, but at the end of season 4, she dipped, basically, because she got accepted into her dream school. So, CJ is a friend that Mordecai met, like, in season 2, I think, or season 3, when he was talking to Margaret. Oh, so basically, what happened is that he thought Margaret was dating someone, so he talked to this girl CJ, but it was just as a friend thing, and CJ thought it was more than a friend thing. So like,
Yeah, she's more.
base,
She thought it was more like a dating thing between the both of them.
yeah, even though he said that it wasn't. And
Yeah.
then like more, we already know that my dog, Margaret dips. So in season 5, we see her again at this dance thing, and everybody with a mask has to like kiss or something, and
Oh yeah, New Year's
and then,
Eve.
yeah, and then
Yes.
he kissed who was it again? Yeah, CJ. He kissed CJ, and he didn't know,
Yeah.
and he took out
Yeah.
the mask, and then they both ran awkwardly. Next episode, they played dodgeball, and they
Dodge
basically
this.
kind of fight it off, and yeah, then they remain as friends until one episode um where he does something that he did with Margaret on accident a while ago. Bud dial, except it wasn't a bud dial. He accidentally messaged from autocorrect, "I like you" or something like that. And then
Oh yeah.
she
Instead
said,
of I like you. Hi.
yeah. And she said, "I
Yeah.
like you too." And he was like,
And then so basically it was like Mordecai was like, "Oh,
basically
what do
that
I
whole
do now,
episode
Ricky?"
that whole
Yeah.
episode was just because he messed up. And then the funny thing is that she didn't care. She liked him too. They started dating again. They had a dating episode where they babysitted the demon kid. It was funny.
Yep.
And then we have this cycle, Mordecai literally like messing up a lot. Mordecai messes up with um CJ by on Muscle Man's marriage, because we already talked about how Muscle Man was trying to marry her. So since he was engaged, but now on Muscle
Yes.
Man's marriage, Mordecai was obligated to speak. He spoke, and he basically broke up with her on while she was speaking, because he was basically just saying, who knows what their soulmate is, and they didn't, and he didn't even look their direction. He didn't even look her direction, the girl that he's been dating. Mind you, Margaret gets very annoying because she comes back and then she just messes up with the relationship like 4 to 5 times, and it's like at this point repetitive.
It's
Yeah,
basically a cycle of disaster for Mordecai.
yeah. So
Because he's the one
Mordecai
who's hurt in
can't.
the end.
Yeah, Mordecai can't
Yeah.
even like finish off.
Nope.
But don't worry, guys. Now we get to Eileen. Eileen is a character is a character with glasses, She's pretty cool. She has
Mm-hmm.
a crush on Rigby. Yeah. Um
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Rigby goes to high school. Yeah, we didn't even speak about Rigby that much, but yeah. Rigby goes to high school. She supports him, and then Eileen goes to space with Rigby, and then they chill for like the last, and that was the last season. They chilled. The only thing is, guys, um we're not gonna talk about Eileen that much because she was a basic character. Like she didn't have anything too like too big going on because Mordecai. Anybody linked to Mordecai is most likely going to have like a big storyline. But her specifically, hers was simple but
Hmm.
regular. I mean the raccoon, a regular show, Rigby. Let's go. So Rigby,
The
like
biggest slacker that we know. I'm just joking.
yeah, exactly. Um, so Rigby, like he's basically just like a fool the entire like first 5 seasons of the seasons, and then he's always just like making either Mordecai mad, or he's always like being selfish, really. And like this entire thing changes after we hit like season 6 or 7, because he actually starts trying to like better himself, goes to high school to because he remember he dropped out.
Yeah, he didn't
So
graduate high
yeah,
school, guys.
so he goes to high
Mm.
school. He goes back and then he graduates high school, and then he has to do a speech, and then he tells people about how anybody can make it. If I was able to make it, who failed high school, like and it's like 20 something, then you guys can make it out there. He's like, and then it was basically just a beautiful speech for America. And then the sad part about this is that Rigby is kind of forced to like leave in a way right after his um graduation, because they go to the park to have an after party. No one gets in the park yet, and then they're about to, and then they have a fax thingy, and they say click this button. And mind you, they have a dome around the park in season 7 because they were testing
Uh
something.
huh.
And
Yep.
then they basically said click this button, and then he said, my dog Rigby said, okay, should we do it? And then all 5 of them had their wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All 7 of them had their hand on the button. I think maybe Eileen too, so 8 had their hand on the
Yeah,
button.
because
And then
Eileen was
yeah, I
with them
know.
all.
And then yeah, Eileen basically became a main character at the end of the series, season 8. But like yeah,
Yeah, she
so
did.
basically they pushed the button and goodbye park. It exploded. I'm joking.
Basically,
I'm joking. So
they basically
basically,
went up
they
to
have an air
space.
jet, and I don't know how this works because they only had the air jet under the park. Matter of fact, we've
Yeah.
seen this in season 6 or season 5 because Thomas, the Russian spy, tried to take the park away from them. So we already seen that it was there for some reason. So
Hmm.
I'm assuming they used the same rockets that they used in that episode to go to space, and they couldn't get back home. And when they did have the ability to get back home, there was no point because the entire universe would end if they did. But we'll get to that part. we have we have one more person to go to. CJ, we kind of explained already. So what's that last person?
Hey man, we can't forget about good old Pops.
No, we're not doing
Pops?
pops. Yeah, we're not doing pops yet.
What?
He's the last one.
Oh,
He's the last one for a good reason. He's the climax of the series, so he has to be the last one. Um,
trust me, guys. Pops plays a really important role in this show.
dang, bro. How could
Really?
oh, Thomas. Yes. So
Huh?
Thomas is
Yeah, yeah.
wow. Thomas deserves something, bro. He came in season 4, and he left in season 6 or season 5. So
It was
basically,
somewhere around those seasons. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, Thomas was an intern, and he was about to become a full-fledged like worker at the park. But the only problem was he didn't th- things didn't go his way, and this wasn't the writer's original idea for Thomas, but of course it happened anyways. But Thomas, like, he was basically one of the cool players who was just in the show. Like he would get pranked by Muscle Man, just like Rigby and Mordecai used to get pranked by Muscle Man when they were interns, and then
Mm-hmm.
like a bunch of other stuff, and like yeah. So basically, like he has this moment where they try to steal a statue back that they took from the park, the rival park across the street. And the funny thing is, basically, he names himself in this mission Nicholas, and he goes to the other side. He takes he takes the statue back. He basically finds a way to take the statue back, and then he wins the mission. He said, "Mission accomplished." Mind you, we hear this a lot at the end of the episodes when he specifically is involved. So I was starting to wonder, what does that mean? Mission accomplished?
Yeah.
So
At the end of the episode,
like,
Thomas fights back. He said,
s-
"Yeah, Mom, everything went good. Mission accomplished."
yeah.
That's
So
what he said.
like, the funny thing is that we get the 30-minute episode where
Uh huh.
basically Rigby like I think wakes up to get a hot pocket, a late night hot pocket, and then
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hello.
hello,
Yeah. Hello.
yo, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it just time down. Okay, so so we basically see a bunch of agents, like we basically see him like take down a bunch of American agents, not a bunch, but like 2 or 3 in front of Rigby, and then he has to knock out Rigby, and I guess hide the body, and he hid it in a shelf for some reason, because that was a smart idea. Definitely a fully trained spy, right? But like, without further ado, it doesn't matter that he chose to do something very stupid. But either way, it was pretty cool. Okay, it was pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool how this man took out the majority of the people, the American agent, and Rigby was kind of scared. He was trying to tell everybody that he's a spy and all that, and he was speaking Russian or something. Funny thing is, there was a library shelf open, and they went there, and we find this Benson's girlfriend Natasha, um, basically in there, and she's basically a spy too. But his girlfriend just came basically like 2 days ago. But Thomas has always been here basically, and he's always been fighting the agents in the dark right in front of them, and they didn't notice basically. Every time where he was hidden, he was doing something sketchy. Is basically what he's trying to say, and he was an agent for Russia to help them get a park that would help their economy. So basically, they took they took some of the park's land and they transported it to Russia, which this is wow. This is I don't know. This episode, I'm not surprised if it was banned some places, but yeah,
Well, what happened, bro?
because
What?
this episode was like toxic to Russia in a way. But
Hmm.
yeah, but without like that, like that's basically the end of Thomas's character. He leaves the park, and then because he can't be with anybody. He can't be with America or Russia, so he can't. Like he's a rogue now, basically. And then we see him with on Guys Night 2, and then this is when we
I was
close
about to
out
say,
his.
bro, you can't
This is
forget
when we
about
yeah,
that episode.
I know. This is where we
Guys,
close out.
night.
This is where we close out his character, and he basically just says his goodbyes to Pops, all the other people who was in Guys Night the first time around, and like he leaves. Like yeah, and that's basically it. That was the end of it. But yeah, so that was the end of Thomas's character, and then now we get to Pops. Pops, um, Antonio. Hello, Pop. Antonio.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry.
All right. Pops was the end all be all basically. He was
Yes.
basically supposed to be the good guy, which he's always the good character. He was always the guy, like he would pay people with lollipops. Always the meme, happiest
Oh, we
character,
talking about Pops now? Okay.
the big headed pink guy. Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who thought money was lollipops.
Yeah. In season 7, basically, he becomes um. In season
A
7,
big character
no,
in the season.
yeah, season 7,
A
we get
huge character.
a teaser of what he can do. Because this one episode, he was trying to see his moon, which is his home planet, which we found out. I mean, this planet, which was his home planet, when which is what we find out. And when he couldn't see it, he started like levitating stuff off the ground, stuff like that. So then we got to season 8. They're in space now because of the entire like because the park flew off after Rigby's graduation. Like I said, they're in
Yep.
space. They're in space, and it's kind of sad because none of them wants to be in space right now. They want to be down at home on Earth, and when they finally figure out how to get home, they can't because Pops is apparently the god of regular show. That's
Yes,
that's
he is.
that's the way to say it because he's basically like there's been a universal fight every single millennia or something, and
Mm.
then basically it always ends with a punch, and that's like the reboot of the world, and it keeps rebooting. So the entire goal of this entire season was to stop the reboot from happening. And then we get this scene where Pops is like crying because he's like, this is the last day of the reboot, and he's getting trained by this guy. He doesn't know how it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna go, and everybody's telling him they're fighting alongside him, and they basically did. Everybody fought alongside him, but Anti Pops, which is the villain of the series,
Ooh.
was too powerful. He killed off all the cast members except Rigby and Mordecai, and then they went to their ship to fly in front of the fist to stop the reboot, and it worked. They they themselves, although it worked, they themselves got rebooted back to where they were. So we get to the power episode, and we even get the title card, and then just like blah 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 blah. He's like, "What's happening?" And then like they find out that they're in the past, and what they do, they went to the power. They used the power keyboard from the first episode to transport themselves to the final episode, the end time. And basically, when they got back there, they basically were just moral support for Pops. And then Pops ended it off not with a punch, but with a hug. And then he flew Anti Pops into the sun, and they both died. And then the series got became happy because without Pops in the picture, we had Mordecai, Rigby, um,
Muscle
Benson,
man.
Muscle Man, Skips,
Skips.
Skips. Let me finish. High Five Ghosts and their mates, Muscle Man and Starla, Rigby and who? Rigby and Eileen, Mordecai and his mate. Like it's not Margaret or CJ, but yeah. So basically, everybody has a happy life. They're like in their 30s and they go back to the park for a reunion, basically. And then we just see regular show, the tape come out of the TV, and then we just see what a jolly good show from our person, Pops. While he
Hello. Hello.
hello, hello. Yeah, one of the greatest Cartoon Networks shows to be known. You know what I'm saying? And that
That was the end of
is
this
how
regular
regular
show.
show ends. So I hope you guys really
So
enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget to follow my Twitch and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like the podcast. And if you guys like to hear more of these, then we'll do them definitely. Yeah, and when we have conversations, we'll just stream it. As long as it's nothing bad, we'll just cut it out, and yeah, we won't have anything cut. We won't have any cuts as long as it's not bad.
yep.
We had like 200,000 frames dropped. Okay, but without further ado, guys, like if you guys want to hear a podcast about what we think about a certain show, just tell us. And we'll get to it. And we'll probably have more people than just Antonio this time around. But alright, without further ado,
Yeah,
guys,
because I won't be able to do like all of them. Only like sometimes on
have a
occasion.
good day,
But
guys.
yeah. Last thing I just want to say for me, all y'all have a good day. Hope all y'all staying safe. Remember, wash your hands, wear your mask, and yeah, stay safe out there. Bye, guys.
Alright, bye.